Didn't work out that way, and from 1973 through 76, he found himself pretty much out of circulation. Well, that's all changed now. Not only is he back with a hit album, he has also become one of the most talked about daytime stars as General Hospital's Dr. Noah Drake. Welcome, Rick Springfield. Gosh, the last time I saw shoes like that was on Elgin Baylor. In a basketball game. I didn't know they made those.
This is my talk show shoes.
But those are very...
These seats are very warm.
You know why they're warm?
It's the lights, right?
Well, it's I guess, leather and naugahyde, and it soaks up the light. This is very popular today, aren't they, the tennis shoe look?
Well, I started wearing these when I first came over here from Australia. And I wear them on stage, only the girl that makes my clothes dyes them all kind of different colors, just for a slightly different effect.
Well, how does it feel to be back on top?
That's my first time, actually.
Well, that hit you had in '72 was what? The Sky.
Speak to the Sky.
Speak to the Sky.
There was top 20. It sold about, it was a moderate hit. It wasn't like a really big one. I think that was one of the reasons that the teen thing never went, over the edge, which now, looking back, was a good thing.
Really?
Yeah.
Why?
It's tough to come back from a teen idol. If you've been, there's nothing, I think, less forgivable than an old teen idol.
They touted you, all these great things that were going to happen to you. What happened, and why the long dry spell in between?
It was just a mispackaging of the product, basically, was what it was. Because I came over here, and they hadn't heard any music or anything. My first album, with the exception of the single "Speak to the Sky," was ballads. It was songs about a wife deciding whether she should leave her husband because he's cheating on her, and what should she do about the kids, and these sort of things. And it was those kind of topics, and a guy committing suicide, and the kids bought it thinking it was going to be the next David Cassidy album, and they put it on. They go, wait a minute, what's this? And so it was. It didn't work. It just didn't work. And about 1974, things were the teen magazines were saying, give us a hit. We need a hit, all this publicity. And it was just going down and down and down. So I said to my managers, I want out.
You talk about the teen magazines now. Do they turn on you if you really don't perform up to their expectations?
No, I think they just cut you out.
Just cut you out completely?
I've never read anything particularly nasty in a teen magazine. Of course I
Sometimes they get angry because they'll pick a star, and if he doesn't really live up to their expectations, they can say some less than flattering things. What did you do during that period of time? Did you keep writing? You keep acting?
I kept writing, and I started acting then, because I hadn't acted. I came over here as a singer and a writer, and I started acting, started going to acting classes. And kept writing and starving and, the usual kind of things.
Did you have what some performers, not only performers, but other people other professional people have, and they say that I always knew that it was going to work out. I always knew that I was going to make it.
Yeah. I don't know if that comes from a desperation in that they put in so much work that it's just got to, or that it's a belief. I think with me it was a mixture of the two. I couldn't see having come this far and spent this much of my life doing something and not do it. Not do what I set out to do. I also had a feeling inside that I did have something to give. I kept my spirits up a lot by reading a lot of the stories. Whenever there was an article, I remember there's an article Bob Seger had in a paper once about, and he went through a lot of the same things before he found, this is before anything had happened with me, and I cut it out and stuck it on my kitchen for like about 2 years. Every time I get down, I'd look at it.
Are you as big a success today in Australia? Do they run General Hospital down there?
Yeah, it's not the phenomenon really that it is here.
But your records are, I'm sure.
Yeah, the records is a success down there.
It is different down there.
The cities.
Kids are different, aren't they?
No, it's
same problems that we have here.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I drink a little more beer.
Your dad was a military man.
Yeah,
but he liked to sing.
Yeah, I was introduced to music real early in my life, but we had no TV in Australia when I was younger. which I think was fortunate, because I would hate to have had to grow up with TV and a lot of the things that kids have got to grow up with now, with drugs and everything.
Any long-range plans after General Hospital? But, you know, today, if you're on one of those daytime dramas...
Well, you can go for another 20
forever,
years.
Yes, right.
No, I'm going to get into movies next year. I'd like to start doing some films next year. We've had some scripts, you know, that are possibilities. Mm-hmm. Right now, the most important thing was to finish the second album. Well, what is everybody thinks is the second album, which is the next album, which we just completed. That was the main project.
And what's it called?
Success Hasn't Spoiled Me.
Well, I, at this point, can agree with the album. Thank you very much for being here with us. More in just a moment. Next, Pat Mitchell becomes a waitress for a day as she begins a new series on working women and their...